This is Gemara Baba Basra Daf Ayin Zayin, and we're holding in the bottom of Ayin Vav Amid Beis, and all the learning for the month of Elul has been generously sponsored by a close friend of the Daf as Eschos Aliyas Neshama for Aster Rizal Basra Meir B'Siyata Deshmaya. The learning the entire Chabura should bring Aster Rizal Basra Meir higher and higher in Gan Eden Shel Maila. We're holding on Ayin Vav Amid Beis. We're approximately 8 lines from the bottom. The first one on the line is Umar Savar. Continues the Gemara, Amar Rav Papa. Going back to the way of giving over the ownership of a star. Says Rav Papa, Hayman de Mizun le'ishtara. Someone who sells a star lechavre to his friend. Sarach lemichtav le. He has to write for his friend ishtar. And in the star, he has to write, Kinihu v'chol shibudei debei. You're being koine it, the star, and any shibud, any lien that has on it. So based on this, in a Rav Papa says Rav Ashi, 4 lines in the bottom. Amar Rav Ashi, I'm reading the Shmaita. Kamei de Rav Kana. I said this over in front of Rav Kana. I'm reading it. And Rav Kana explained the reason of Rav Papa. It's only a kinyan that because he wrote this lashon. If he didn't write, but he just gave over the star, there be no kinyan. But it asks Rav Kahana, I don't understand. Why did I give you a star? What do you need the paper for? Do you need the paper to merely wrap it on top of your jug? Of course not. Meaning, asks the Gemara, I don't understand. Why is giving over the star not itself of a form of kinyan? Amar li, and Rav Kahana refined it in Latzer v'Latzer. Yes, if you didn't write kini and you should be kaina the shiba, then it is indeed there is no acquisition created, and rather all you could do is take that piece of paper and utilize it to cover over your flask, meaning the mere giving over of a star does not effect an acquisition, and all you get is the paper, but not that which the paper represents, not the actual chayiv, etc. So Amar HaMeimer on the top of Ayin Zayin Amar Aleph Hilchasa. What is the lemaisa? Ois nicknames b'mesira lemaisa letters. A star is kind of by giving it over kirebi. Amdi Rav Ashi LaMeimer come to Rav Ashi and he says Gemara oisvara. How do you know what you just said? Is it a Gemara? It's a Messiah that you heard from your Abayim, or Svara? Or do you say this merely from a place of logic? Amar lei, so Rav Ashi responds, Amar lei Gemara, excuse me. Amar lei, Ameimer responds, Gemara, I have a Messiah. Amar Rav Ashi says to Rav Ashi, Svarnami hu. Says Rav Ashi, you just told me you have a Messiah, but I'll tell you, it's indeed logical as well. Because what are oisiyais? Oisiyais letters, a star is mere words. Omili ve'mili loy miknin, and you cannot acquire words with words, and that is the reason why the halacha is you could be kainah with Mesira, and you do not need to actually write a new star. Meaning, what is a star? A star is what it represents. It's mere words. So says Rav Ashi, if it's mere words, what does it help to write another star on top of it? Shkoyach, more words. Rather, says Rav Ashi, it must be that by giving over the Mesira, there's a representation of giving over the Chayiv, and that itself suffices. Asks the Gemara 5 lines down, V'loi, is this true? V'amar Rabba bar Yitzchak Rav. Shnei shtarais, there are 2 types of shtarais. Zachu b'sadeh. If the owner of a field says you should acquire a field l'plaini, such and such, the kisu lo yas ashtar and read him ashtar, chayzer b'ishtar. he could be chayzer about writing him a shtar, but ve'ino chayzer besada. Once he said the field is his, he cannot be chayzer and the field is given to him. But if he says, Al minashe techdulais shtar, if he says, I'm giving you this field on condition that I write for you a shtar, then chayzer b'shtar b'sadeh, then you could be chayzer and everything, because he said it's all al minas, and if I don't v'rite you the shtar, then it's nothing. V'Rav Chia b'Ravin Amar Rav Huna, shleish shtarasim. There's really 3 levels of shtaris. Trey Adamar, like we just said, Idach, what's the third? Because of his shtar. The seller went and he wrote over a shtar. As we turn over to Ayin Zayin Beis, Kaisa Sheshaninu, and they wrote of a shtar, like we find in the Mishnah that says what? Kaisa shtar lemoicher, aval bi she'in loikechi. That if someone comes and says, I'm going to sell such and such item, or let her write him a shtar, even though the purchaser is not there, and by extension, once the buyer makes a chazak on the karka, niknim b'shtar, you're kind of the shtar and wherever it is. And this idea, this halacha that you could give over the shtar, even the buyer's not there, is that which we learn the chazim shelim achrayis nikdim in the chasim sheish them achrayis because of shtar b'chazaka. That which does not have achrayis, metaltlin is able to be koined together with that which does have achrayis, a piece of karka. So says the Gemara, this is shver. Because what do we see? We see that even though he didn't actually make a kinyan on the document, the fact that he wants to give it over is enough. And the fact that I want to give you something is also just mealy, it's just words. And yet we see that it is a way of creating a kinyan. So ask the Gemara. So Rav Ashi said, "Mili b'mili loy negni." What do you mean? We see words are kind of with other words. Answers the Gemara, "Agav is shiny." That case is different because you're being kind by being kind of let. And where do we see this from the matbeya? We know a coin. You can't be kind of a coin of chalib, and I give you a handkerchief, and thereby be kind of the coin. Vagav kara nikni, but you can just be kind it. Agav the land. Ki hadir Rababa havle trace alfi zuzi. Rababa had 12,000 dinarim. That someone gave him as a bikada in beichayzai. Agdinu nichle l'Rav Shmuel Baracha. In order to get them, Rababa transferred the money to Shmuel Baracha. Agav has David the base say on the threshold of his house. Ki asenafik la'abe ad Tavach. When Rababa came, he went all the way to Tavach to meet him. That is the end of that story. As Antiki, the Mishnah concluded, you can't sell these items. It's merchandise that is within the ship. Those merchandise are not sold together with the boat. And we continue with the next Mishnah, which now moves on to different areas of Mechira, most notably a karain, a wagon. Says the Mishnah, the mules do not go. The mules that pull the wagon are not sold with it. Someone sells the yoke. The cattle is not sold with him. Each one is its own entity. No, we look at the value. We all know that a yoke doesn't cost 200 zuz. So must be you're including other items in this. The fact that it was more expensive is not a raya that which he meant to include in the sale. And one last Gemara says, Gemara Tani Rav Tachliva Bar Rav Kamei Rav Avua. Mocher es akara in mocher es abrados. The mules are sold. I vanan loy mocher. I Mishnah mocher es karon loy mocher es abrados tanan. Amle Asmaye said, responded back Asmaye. Should I delete it? What do you mean? It's a steer. Amle loy titargum es nischa ba'adukun ba. We can explain the Mishnah where it means they're attached to the wagon, and therefore, in the Mishnah, even though he said loy es behema islamaisa, they're still sold with it. We'll pause over here. We'll pick it up for the 2 dots. B'siyata dishmaya.